Good morning, dreamers, non-believers, and yes, I know I'm late, and I know everyone and their mama already made a video about this, but listen, I have a good excuse. And I work a job, and they be working me sometimes. Chapter 4 just pulled through, and while giving us a lot of lore in the plot, they still left us with a cliffhanger. I mean, who could have seen that Olly was the prototype? I jest. Even though it was obvious, I still love it. Us knowing, but not the in-game characters, made everything a little bit more nerve-wracking this chapter. While we knew the betrayal was coming, we never knew when, so we had to keep guessing. And it's every time when we did something, it was like, did this happen or this? We never knew. It's like Omni-Man in season 1 of Invincible. Don't get it twisted. This is peak. Poppy's good, but it ain't no Invincible. Don't get things twisted now. Now this chapter was better than chapter 3 in my opinion. I liked how it was more story-centric and not just puzzles after puzzles. But it was quite glitchy, but that's already been talked to death, and that's not even what I want to talk about today. Lock in. This chapter has given us a lot, from the in-game tapes to the notes we can find. I mean, even the dialogue between characters can be dissected apart. But I want to talk about the next chapter. Yeah, everyone's already talked about chapter 4. I want to talk about chapter 5, baby. Yeah, I'm going in. I mean, if you saw my last video, you know how accurate my prediction was.
Stop the cap.
You know what? I don't appreciate that. Get out of here. Listen. We've seen a lot in this chapter so far. So now I think we have the things here to figure out how we're gonna get into the last and final chapter. And the next chapter is going to be the final one. Listen, we're at the point of the story where the character has lost everything and now has to rebuild and has to go at the final challenge, kind of like Captain America in Avengers Endgame, or when the Spidey crew left Miles in his dorm alone. It's that moment where everything seems hopeless, and then we're gonna come in even stronger than before. I mean, they wouldn't bring Huggy Wuggy back unless it was the final chapter. But let me get back on topic. What's going on with the prototype? Right now, it's assumed it's Rich, the guy who got promoted and we've been hearing about in the tapes in every single chapter. Rich, the guy who not only cares for these kids, but got promoted because of it. And because of that, it would track that the orphans weren't killed in the Hour of Joy. But then on the other hand, he kept the orphans and is maybe doing experiments on them? But Poppy says they're still down there, so maybe he's not doing experiments on them and he's just keeping them down there for whatever reason. I still think it is Rich, because it'd be weird for this guy we've been hearing about in every single chapter to not be someone this important. But I do think what his goal isn't completely understood yet, because why is he keeping the orphans down there? I can't really think of a good reason, so if you can think of one, leave that in the comments below. And also, while you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it. But since we're talking about the prototype, I do want to talk about him and his final conversation with Poppy. We learned that Olly was a real kid a long time ago. Years ago, in fact, and through one of the tapes he refers to in that closing speech, we learned that it's even from before the Hour of Joy.
What did you do with Olly?
I'm right here, Poppy. For you. I'll always be here.
At first I thought maybe Rich saw Olly dying. Because of that, he causes a huge ruckus, causing way too much noise inside of Playcare, which makes them turn him into a prototype. But I don't think the prototype would be able to mimic a voice of a person who's already dead. I think he would have to already be the prototype, then hear the voice, and then mimic it. So that means Olly would have had to die after the prototype is already made. So I'm guessing next chapter we're gonna figure out who Olly actually was, and if we don't, I'm gonna be really upset. And on the point of the tapes, we're probably gonna get a tape of Leith Pierre getting some kind of come up or something, because Leith Pierre did escape and survive the Hour of Joy. I mean, he sends teams back inside the factory to extract toy parts in that one game that is dying, Project Playtime, that one. But also, on the other hand, we get to see how evil he is in this chapter. I mean, up until this point, whenever we hear about Playtime Co., all we're really thinking about is Harvey Sawyer. He's dead by the end of the chapter, but still, all we're hearing about is Harvey Sawyer and how he's running the experiments on these kids and all this and that. But then in chapter 4 specifically, we get to see the other people inside this company beat dark also, including Leith Pierre turning Sawyer into the Doctor, and him, his final monologue, the last tape you hear in the entire game, where he laughs at you as he goes, yeah, let's be real, you ain't supposed to be here. And you finna get shot. Like, he's taking pride in the fact that he's gonna be able to not only shoot you, but get away with it. Which is why I think he'll have some sort of comeuppance in this final chapter, because why would you make Leith Pierre so unlikable in these final moments of these games? We have 2 chapters left by the time you start this, and 1 by the time you end this. Why would you make him so unlikable unless you have a plan for him in the last chapter? I mean, this is a question I pondered in my last video, but now I want to ponder in this one is, how does this series end? I mean, yeah, we'll take down the prototype, like the stray dog he is, but what will actually be the resolution in this game? I mean, Poppy may or may not betray us in those final moments, but what's going to happen to the factory itself? What note is it going to leave us on? I mean, I feel like it's pretty safe to say whatever note it leaves off on is open enough to where they can come back for a sequel, obviously. But I think the most obvious one at the moment is that everything is going to be set ablaze, like how Poppy was trying to do in this chapter. I mean, yeah, there's the orphans down there, and if they are still down there, that would be something worth saving. But by the fact we've yet to see a single living human, I doubt we'll be able to see them now. I mean, I feel like seeing another living human at this point at least, would be kind of weird. I mean, corpses I understand considering it's a horror game and, you know, the Hour of Joy happened, but seeing an actual living in-game human, because we see some in the VHS, but an actual game rendered human would be kind of weird to see in this game. So I doubt that's the direction they're going. Went so well last time, I'm back at it again. I had to change the angle on one for the one time. Obviously, I imagine the chapter is going to start with us running away from Huggy Wuggy. I mean, he's literally right there. And it seems like there's a door right behind us also. After we get away from Huggy, I imagine our first objective after getting away from him is going to be something along the lines of find Poppy. And in our attempt to do so, we'll run into Kissy. Now with Kissy by our side, we'll probably keep searching for Poppy, trying to find her and killing whatever monster may be in our path. Now while that's going on, I know Poppy put her little legs to work at the end of the chapter, but she definitely got caught. I mean, there's no way she got away. And on top of that, not only do I think she got caught, I think by the end of the chapter, she is going to be on the prototype's side. I mean, the game is called Poppy Playtime. So if I don't get to fold this stupid, odd-looking doll up and Kobe her into the nearest trash bin, I'm gonna be upset. Now, I think this will happen maybe 3/4 or maybe halfway through the chapter where it's revealed Poppy's not on our side anymore, Kissy will be upset, and Huggy will attack us again. And now, I think Kissy will probably try to protect us, but you know, Kissy Missy can't really scrap for real. I mean, she ain't one-on-ones, and she'll probably kick the bucket. And, we'll have to run from Huggy again. But I think it's going to be more running away, the same way we ran away from Yarnaby at chapter 4, where he'll probably not make it through the end of the chase and kick the bucket also. A few more puzzles later, maybe killing a few other monsters, we'll then fight the prototype and Poppy, beating them both. I think Poppy will also have a small morsel of a redemption in her last moments, having to see Kissing die in front of her eyes or something. And with that, everything is set on fire. Everything. I think the prototype will get a new body. I think something will happen to the orphans where they'll die midway through the chapter and everything will blow up. And as the screen fades to black, we'll hear a voice. It's Leith Pierre. He's talking to the public. He's going to open a second factory, leaving the door open for Poppy Playtime 2, Chapter 1, The Second Factory, Deluxe Edition. Good night. Wait, I want to talk about something. So I've worked the past week and then today was my first day off. And so I haven't really had time to really digest the game properly. So I tried my best to avoid any videos talking about the lore or anything else, because I want these videos to be, this video at least, to be my unfiltered thought before I really dig into the game. Because honestly, I haven't really had time to like do the amount of research I like doing for these videos, at least. And so I imagine my next video I'll probably make like in a month is going to be more well-rounded and more evidence-based, and not just me rambling at camera for however long this ends up being. My recording time says 30 minutes, but like this video is going to be 30 minutes long. I promise you that. Like, dear Lord, do you know how many times I just start talking off in tangents like I am doing at the moment? But anyway, I don't know what my next video is going to be. It could be FNAF. It could be Kendrick. It could be Kendrick Lamar. Because I've been dying for a reason to talk about Kendrick Lamar. And if you want to hear me talk about Kendrick Lamar, please let me know. I'll do it. I'll do it. And it won't even be about the beef. I promise it won't even be about the beef. It will be just talking about his other pieces of work. It actually will be about those 2 albums in particular. By that, I mean, I already wrote a script for it because I really want to make that video, but I don't know how many people will actually watch it, considering I do indie horror stuff. So just let me know. Good night.
Written in the back of my old diary, I gotta break sometime. It's underlined and red, scrawled across the screen beneath the spider. I